Hi, I'm Melissa Bauer. I'm the Public Information Officer for the City of Leavenworth, and we are here today to talk about Leavenworth Attainable Housing, which is a program of DePaul, USA. Today we have Sister Amy Wilcott and Chris Leach. This program is a transitional housing program available to City of Leavenworth residents. The city has supported this program with a startup fund of $600,000. This money comes from a federal grant program called the American Rescue Plan, or ARPA. It was temporary funding for which the city qualified during the COVID era. So far, Leavenworth Attainable Housing has received about $493,000 that has allowed them to purchase a few houses. So Sister Amy, what can you tell us about this program and what your intent is?
Our program provides an opportunity for people who are on the margins, who are nearly homeless or have been unhoused, and they, if they qualify for our program and they have an income and are willing to work in our program, could move into one of our houses, and then we provide a circle of support and social support, which really I'm going to look to Chris for the specifics of that, because he is our housing support specialist, and what Chris does and that part of the program really sets us apart from any other program in Leavenworth.
Yeah, as a housing support specialist, like she mentioned, it's that circle of support we provide that kind of sets our program apart. And you mentioned like the term transitional housing, and we lean more towards permanent housing. We don't fit the typical mold of like a HUD-defined permanent supportive housing program, but we are permanent in the nature that we don't set an arbitrary time limit for people. Like a traditional transitional housing is like an 12 to 18 month program. Our program, we just don't set an arbitrary date. It's like we're going to allow people to stay in the home as long as it takes for them to reach the goals that they want to reach and move on if they choose to move on. But and then the supportive part of that is I'm in the house weekly, meeting with individuals and discussing, what are their goals, what are their current needs. So we work on something that we call a service plan, and that's, basically setting some goals in different areas of life, and that can look like financial, education, medical, mental health, things like that. So we look at, what the person's needs are. We set those goals. We talk about those goals, set action steps. How are we doing on those? Where can we find resources? So that's a big part of my job, is connecting people with resources. Because a lot of people don't know all the resources we have available in this community, and we do. We have a lot.
So sometimes there's a perception in mind that people have when they think of a homeless person in Leavenworth. Is there a type of age that you're seeing, a type of gender, or any type of family structure that you're seeing?
So that's a great question. I mean, and there's a lot of stereotypes, negative stereotypes, and really there's not. It affects everyone in our community. We do see families with mom and dad present and children, single females, single males, single mothers with children. I mean, it affects everybody. I think that the nationwide demographic statistics also apply probably in Leavenworth. That single males are more commonly seen in the homeless community. And and there's quite a few reasons for that. The reasons for homelessness in general are great. There's lots of financial burdens, mental health concerns, physical health concerns. Someone that goes through a major physical health issue, it can really set somebody back financially and make things hard. So there's just all these reasons. And there are families, sometimes when it comes to families, when we're talking about homelessness, they can be a little harder to see. They tend to stay, I would say, hidden. We call them the hidden homeless. If you're struggling with homelessness and you've got children, you may not want to reach out and have that become known, because you have worries that somebody's going to step in and take your children away from you. Also, we see that with families that and especially families that have children, a lot of times, another family member or somebody will allow them into their home and, sleep on the couch and on the floor. They call it, we call it couch surfing or doubled up.
Sure.
And so, sometimes that doesn't meet the HUD definition of homelessness because they're not in a shelter or on the street, but they're still without, good housing, quality housing that's sufficient, for their needs, so.
And are there plans for more houses in the future, more homes?
Well, we hope so. Right when we began in 2021, we began with one house that someone donated. And to date, we have 19.
Wow.
We have 17 houses and the duplex. And we have plans to build 4 more duplexes. And I think that also is what sets us apart in that we have bought houses, and I think you have had the chance to tour one.
Yeah.
And with funds, we're able to make that house habitable when it was nowhere near that before. And so we make them comfortable to live in and safe and secure. And so our hope is, yes, that we would, in the future, have funds, find funds for new builds, for renovations. Also, we manage 5 houses. The Lutheran Church has allowed us to, we manage 6 now that I think of it.
Yeah, for
Right?
St. Paul Lutheran.
Right, St.
Yeah.
Paul Lutheran Church has 5 houses that we manage, and we have program participants living there, and then a couple in Leavenworth has allowed us to manage their home, and one of our participants is in there. And so that's sort of a win-win. We take care of the home. They are generously allowing that so someone can meet their goals and move forward in their life.
I think another added bonus there is like we talk about, we're renovating houses that are not, these are houses that are sitting unoccupied in bad disrepair, are an eyesore, on North Leavenworth, and we're able to, get into those houses, renovate them, and now, we're revitalizing the neighborhood, which, it's good. That's a win-win for everybody in the community.
How are these living spaces meeting our safety and accessibility guidelines? I know you said that was kind of an important thing for you.
Well, we make sure that the house is safe. It has, structurally sound and entrances and smoke detectors and fire extinguishers and all of that, and appropriate lighting around the house. Yeah. All of those things that are that we all appreciate for our own house and our neighborhood.
Yeah.
As we build the next round of duplexes, we had a good suggestion from Chris that I think is excellent, that I think we need to build a couple that are handicapped accessible. The duplex itself, small, easily gotten into, but like a handicapped shower and things like that would be an addition that we would add.
Great. What are some of the benefits to the Leavenworth community in housing the homeless?
I think we can all agree that, putting people in homes, it directly benefits, that family, those people, but then it takes a lot of the burdens off of the other, social service systems. There's a number out there that is the number that it costs a community for every homeless individual, and that's not. I think somebody recently referred to that as, it costs the city this much per person, for every homeless, and it's not the city. The city's not handing out cash for that person. It's the cost to the community, and that cost is figured from a lot of things. It's cost, the operation, police, the sheriff's department for the jail, EMS, visits to the emergency room, all the different social service organizations that those people are accessing services to. So that cost isn't just the city of Leavenworth paying out. I mean, that's a cost that's, bared across a wide variety of services.
And for us, people in our program need to have an income, right? And so inside one of these formerly abandoned homes is someone with an income, someone who is contributing back to the community. And so I think, again, back to the win-win. An empty house is sort of a blight on the neighborhood and community and serving no purpose. And having someone in there builds community, helps the community and the economic development. This year, our fundraiser is June the 6th, and it's called an Evening of Hospitality. And the whole reason for that is that sense of community, of connecting individuals who might not now know one another, but the stronger that our connections are, then the better our city is. So, and we would be happy to be invited to talk to any church or civic group or block parties, neighborhood meetings, anything. Because I think the more people know about what we're doing and what can be done in Leavenworth, I think then the stronger a community will be.
I think another important thing maybe to share is that we are really interested in getting to know local private landlords. We do have connections to several, and that's always growing. But it's important because we can't necessarily house everybody that we come across. We come across a lot of individuals, especially when we when we have an article come out, or public information comes out about us. We have a lot of people that reach out to us, and not everybody is somebody that's a great fit for our program. A lot of times it's individuals that are just really struggling because they are on the edge and they're currently housed, but the housing's not meeting their needs, or they need to find a bigger house, and so we're always running across these situations, and so we're trying to match individuals up with landlords that may be able to meet their needs better.
How many people are on your program right now?
Oh, gosh, now, the last time I counted it was 1, but we now I would say we have 40. Would that be, I think so.
I think so. We've just brought in several,
family and a
couple single
40?
individuals.
40.
That's great.
So,
That's awesome.
adults and children.
Wow.
Across that, and I don't know how many. Yeah, we say 19 units, but several of those are still being renovated, so it's more like around 16 units, I would think, is pretty accurate. People that are literally homeless, they go through either, they can go to Catholic Charities or to Welcome Central up at the Community Hope, and they do a housing assessment, and they get on a list. It's called the Coordinated Entry List, and that's that's the homeless system that's in place. And then as housing offers become available, they're given. So we always recommend that people go through that process, get the housing assessment, get on that list, and that's kind of what the waiting list is. And then sometimes like we run into the family situation where our family unit got done and was ready to go, and a couple of the families I'd been tracking had gotten housed because they were, on that list, or one of them independently had found, they were able to get themselves housed, and so they self-resolved, and so, and then we just, real quickly, a family in need emerged, and they had been in contact through Catholic Charities and were on that coordinated entry list. We were able to identify them and get them housed pretty quick. So, yeah.
I love hearing that families are getting housing. That's great.
Yeah.
So we're going to have in the link to their website in the post of this video. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to Leavenworth Attainable Housing.